Going through the process. We are live according to this little sign that came across.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give it just
a
moment.
Say hi to us, except for I heard that there's a new thing with Streamline. I guess we should introduce ourselves first, though.
You think we should introduce ourselves? Well, let us introduce ourselves. I think we're far enough in. We don't have... Okay, let's go ahead and get started in case anybody jumps right on. Welcome to Conversations with Sherry and Terry Ann. I am Terry Ann, life coach, TA. I help women to overcome those lies of negative self-talk by looking at perspective. By changing your perspective, you find there are new possibilities. Once you realize those new possibilities, notice those pathways that are open. And now that those pathways are open, how will you proceed? And along with me today is my friend and fellow coach, Sherry Berger.
Hi, I'm Sherry Berger, and I own Here to There Consulting, and we educate business owners with the tools to balance work, life, and business, because we need to get all that in balanced. Therefore, we can have better growth, leadership, and success in our life and our business. So that's what I do. And today we are going to talk about time blocking. Is that what we're talking about, Terry?
Time blocking? What is time blocking? But wait a minute, wait. Before you tell me about time blocking, we have recently found out. Now, we are on 3 different Facebook feeds right now going live. And you can comment and we can see your comments. Now, you might have to give permission for us to see your name.
I'm seeing Rick Chamber out there. I see Rick Chamber out there right now.
You do? Well, hi, Rick. Go ahead, leave us a comment. We would love to know that you're here, that you're following along, and your thoughts as we talk. But if you should happen to need to give permission for your name to appear, here's how you do it. Go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. And it will simply ask, is it okay for your name to appear in the comment stream? And you can say yes. It's a new, changes in technology all the time, just to keep us on top of things and always wondering. And while we are doing that, Sherry, I got to tell you, I have got a stack of work to do. I'm not getting anything done. How do you address that issue when someone says something like that to you?
So I believe in time blocking. Time blocking is really, really, really helpful. But everybody says that word, time blocking. What does that even mean? So we should always have a plan. But the way that we will come up with a plan is we should have a time block for the day. You should have your 3 to 5 things that you want to get done today and have them on your calendar and time block. And where is my cell phone? I have a cell phone. Do you have a cell phone, Terry Ann?
A cell phone?
Everybody has cell phones. There's 2 things that we can do with our cell phone when we're time blocking. One is turn it upside down and don't answer any phone calls. But you also could use it as a timer or your computer and set for like an hour to work on that one priority, though. We should always have our 3 priorities for the day, right? And so that one priority.
Okay.
But your one priority that you want to time block for that day, right? So that's how we should do it. But whenever I talk about time blocking, I believe there's a 4-step process in general with your time. To prioritize your time, evaluate your time, restructure your time based on what's going on, and then do a self-evaluation. So we should, like on Sunday, plan for the following week in those ways, but be ready to restructure. I think, I was talking to somebody regarding this on Monday. I have aging parents. So sometimes I can't turn my phone upside down. Sometimes I have to have it right side up, but I have to be willing to ignore any phone call unless it's mom or dad, because mom and dad's health are really bad. So if there was an emergency, right? I answered the phone the other day. My mom called. Mom goes, "What are you doing?" "Mom, I'm working. What do you need?" She tells me, and then I'm like, "Okay, well, Mom, I'm busy right now. I'll call you later." She goes, well, I'm busy right now, whatever. I go, Mom, I'm literally at work. But because I was worried, she has stage 4 Parkinson, something could be wrong with her, I'm answering the phone. There's people that have small children that maybe they can't do that. So if you have stuff like that, you might not be turning your phone upside down. But if you can, that's the best choice.
I have a suggestion in that area. I found a feature on my phone. It is called Do Not Disturb. But the neat thing about Do Not Disturb, you can set contacts that the calls will come through. So when I turn on my Do Not Disturb, I have set my family members that if they call, their calls will always come through. But that call, Sherry, I'm sorry, you're not on my Do Not Disturb. You are not on that part of my list. If you were to call me while I was setting Do Not Disturb, I'm sorry, Sherry, I won't take your call right away. But I will call you when I turn it back on.
But that means we're not friends.
No, it means it just means that you are not the priority that my parents and my children are. But so my parents and my children, their calls will come through no matter what, but other calls will not. And I have found that helps tremendously.
Okay, but I love that boundary that you just set, that you're not going to answer the phone unless it's your family and friends. But then when you're informing your friends, such as me, you use this word that I don't like. You said, I'm sorry. Why should you be sorry that you have a business that you need to run? I'm sorry, but my boss will fire me if I answer the phone for just everything. What the heck? You're not sorry.
I agree. I don't like people who say I'm sorry all the time.
You're sorry when you're not. You are not sorry for that at all. And we don't.
Right. I have set a boundary. I like that phrase.
All you say is I work during these hours.
Yes.
And of course, leave a message and call people back within 24 hours. Business 24 hours.
There used to be a time when we didn't have the phone on us all the time. And if we were not sitting at our desk, we actually did not answer it.
I know.
Okay, so that's step 1 of your time blocking. What was step 2?
Well, we're going to prioritize what our time is, right?
Right.
We're going to evaluate our time.
Now, how do you do that?
On Sunday night. So what we got to do is, okay, for me, I literally time block my whole week, right? But I have priorities. My priorities are God, family, and then my job. Mm-hmm. But that does not mean I don't have work hours. But I'm not going to miss church to work. I'm going to go to my church. If I have Bible study, I'm going to go to Bible study. But those are on my calendar, right? And if I have devotion time, it's on my calendar. I go walking every day. Well, I try to go walking every day. If it's not on my calendar, it does not happen. So I do a 2 to 3 mile walk every day because that's important to me. So it's on my calendar. So to make sure that we put those things, right, on our calendar first and other commitments. I have clients that we meet at a certain time, either every week, once a month. I got all these different, but they're on my calendars. We do this at 9:30 on Tuesday mornings. It's already on my calendar. So now you have your other space to time block. Mm-hmm. Now I work till 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night every day. And you're like, really? Well, my husband works till 7:30 or 8 o'clock. But I'm just a brand new empty nester. Before this year or this August, believe me, from 3:30 to 4:30 or 6 o'clock, I did not work because my children would come home. Mm-hmm. I would ask them how their day was, but I time blocked that time for them. Or as they became teenagers, I learned to leave my bedroom door open, work on something that's not huge if I get distracted, right? And plan on being distracted between 3:30 and 6 only by my children if they walk in my office. Because you know what? When teenagers want to talk, you want to listen.
That's right.
So you had to learn that. But those are the type things. So what are your priorities? What are your priorities in life to create your life? And why do you do your business, right? Maybe it is to do some of that balance with family, friends, right? I literally time block time to spend with my friends. My husband is on my calendar. I know that sounds silly, but it's true. And my children, as old as they are, I have 3 of them that still live in town. One is in Pontiac, Illinois. My children are on my calendar. So I will be like, hey, we have not met for coffee. You need to get on my calendar because, a 22-year-old, 21-year-old, and 18-year-old don't think hanging out with you are a priority. But since it's a priority to me, I reach out to them and I put them on my calendar. So to make sure you put those important things on your calendar and then work the rest of your life around.
That is something I sometimes when I think about it, I think, oh my gosh, that's so sad. But at other times, the way you describe it, it's so true. I know that when my kids were teenagers, and my kids are now approaching, anyway, they're closer to the 40 mark. One's reaching, one's over. But even then it was, Mom, I'd like to go do such and such. And I'd say, okay, here, I put it on my calendar. When they heard me say it is on my Outlook calendar, they knew, hey, this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. That was their sign of, hey, we're on the calendar. This is going to happen. So your calendar is a very important feature.
My daughter was home for the weekend and she's like, well, Mom, FAFSA has to be done because she's in college and she's only 18. So she's a freshman. FAFSA has to be done. This has to be done. I need this from you. Okay, I know you're home this weekend. When are you going to be home? When am I putting it on my calendar? And by the way, Dad and I have a few things planned. So I need to know, right? So that we can do some balancing in this. But my children understand that it has to be on my calendar. It
has to be on the calendar.
And, yeah. And it's too funny. They learned that. I would say as teenagers, because when they were under 10 or under 12, they didn't get it. But as they got older, I would say, okay, well, we need for lunch, but we need it on the calendar. Your birthday's coming up. I need a lunch date with you on the calendar.
It's a priority, and it's showing because actually our priorities are, if you want to know what your priorities are, look at someone's calendar.
That's
so
what
we have priorities and we have evaluations. What's our third step?
Being willing to restructure our time. I talked about my aging parents. Being willing that I time block that I'm going to work like I'm writing a book. We were talking about that. I have to time block when I'm doing it. And so I can be working on that, but being willing to be adaptable, right? If something emergency came up, but not restructuring about everything, but restructuring about if you know what your priorities are, then you know when you need to restructure, right?
Oh, that's good. So you have to know your priorities
to be able to restructure. If you ever, don't restructure, but to be flexible with put a schedule together. And I think you have maybe a little bit of this, maybe not, but some people are really type A and they want it done right. So if they time blocked it, that means, oh my God, hell or high water, we're not changing it, which is fine. Except for when emergency comes up.
Right.
I told you I go walking though every day, or I try to. If I know it's going to rain, I might have to restructure my schedule to go before it rains. Well, I also like to dance in the rain, but I'm weird. My point is, or if you know it's going to be cold or you know it's fall. So when you see what the weather's going to be, you might have to change that. But with my parents, an emergency with them came up, then I might have to restructure my time. That's just what I'm going through right now. They call me sandwich generation, but that's what I'm going through right now. If my daughter was driving home and got stuck on the side of the road, well, we do have AAA. I will tell you this, though. My kids got taught at times when I was in meetings or working that there was other people that they could call. They don't need to always call mom. Mom doesn't need to drop everything and always be the one. So they have other people on their cell phone that are like second parents, whatever you want to call. And it's okay to call somebody else. And what are you teaching them? You're teaching them when they're at college or in Pontiac or wherever they're at, that they can call on other family, friends, or other people. I'm not always the person.
So you're teaching them, then they have to think through, is this really something that I really need to disturb somebody else about? Not just an automatic somebody else take care of it. Well, now wait a minute. Can I take care of this myself? So who can help me best? Not just always, well, I always go to this person, but who can help me best in this moment? So along the way, they've learned to they've learned also along the way to apply to their own lives.
Yes.
So we have priorities,
yeah,
evaluations, restructure, and what was our fourth one?
self-evaluation.
Self-evaluation.
Things change. Now, usually people say, well, I should do that once a year. Well, I believe you should at least do it once a quarter, in a little bit on Sunday or whatever day it is that you prioritize.
Mm-hmm.
So self-evaluation, I teach people about balance in 6 areas. So that would be your relationship, your health, your finances, your business. So your, what is it? Personal growth, those 6 areas. But when we're doing a self-evaluation, we might think, where am I? I mean, is my marriage going to need a little bit more attention this week? Because I happen to be married. Is a friend of mine going to maybe need a little bit more support? We talked about depression and suicide, how bad that is. So do we need to be there for somebody else? I mean, so what are your restructured priorities? My birthday was the 23rd of January, 23rd of September.
Okay.
And I'm going to go finally have coffee with my best friend on Friday. Now we had to restructure that
Sure.
to make that in my plans. But I will be honest, I think it was a couple Fridays ago, we were supposed to meet for coffee. Well, she had a priority with her husband that she didn't realize she needed to do. So we had to restructure. Guess what? Gave me more time to time block and work on something else that I wanted to work on. So being flexible in those things and realizing that other people have things. So those are some of the things that I believe that we need to do. But I'd like to hear from our people. Like Courtney, you want to type in where maybe you struggle with time blocking or some area that you feel you need to time block or priority. And do we still have Rick on?
Right now,
we had Rick and Courtney on here for sure. Yeah, they have changed Facebook. So if you are on here, we need you to let us know but I would love to hear,
one way I was telling you earlier, a fun way that I schedule out a specific time for me, because the clock doesn't always work for me. But I have found in one area, one of the things that overwhelms me is laundry. When I go look at laundry, and I've got this big pile of laundry, and I've sorted it all out. This is a mountain. Now I've got to do all this other stuff, and I've got to do laundry. One of the first things I've learned is I wash the towels first. By the time I put all the towels in the washer, my mountain of laundry is now much smaller. It's not quite so overwhelming anymore. It takes an hour to wash the towels. This gives me 1 hour to focus on something else before I hear the washer go off. It also, by the way, helps me to complete a project because now I've got to put the towels in the dryer. Now, if I do the towels last, they're going to stay in there for the next few days until we need a towel. But I have more laundry to do, so I have to get the towels out. So I found a way to time block and to make sure that I get my projects done.
So you're multitasking.
I'm multitasking and being and knocking out on my list.
I've done that before with cooking dinner. If you set a timer, because oh my gosh, I've put dinner on and then got busy with a project. I have forgot about it. Doesn't come out very well. I have
burned so many meals, so many pans.
But if you put dinner on and then you set the timer, then that means you're going to work on this project till that timer goes
right.
So
once I hear the timer,
Terry Ann, have you heard that we're in a pandemic?
No way.
So we're stuck at home.
Oh.
And so we've been a little bit more. I have 3 dogs and a cat, and I'm an empty nester. So my dogs sometimes think they need to go in and out when they really don't. Sometimes trying to cook dinner and then also be trying to time block, all these distractions. So how do you deal with those? Because that's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. And
And
this,
I'm a coach and I work from home, but now I'm stuck home a lot more than I usually am.
it is very, I think it's very hard. And we do have to become very conscious now. Maybe some things that we did just on autopilot before all this, we do have to maybe make a concentrated effort now. Something my husband and I used to do, both working from home, we used to just every once in a while say, all right, pack up the laptop. We're going to a coffee shop today. Well, we haven't been able to do that for the last several months. So we've had to restructure. Okay, these four walls are really getting pretty tight. Two people in the same house all the time, 24/7. It's okay if you get out every once in a while. So we've had to do some restructuring, self-evaluation, set our priorities, and go through the whole process of.
Do you have dogs or kids that
going.
Do you have dogs or kids that distract you though, Terry Ann?
Not in the house now, no.
See, I have
That makes a
dogs.
difference.
I have dogs. So what I'm going to tell you, I'm treating my dogs like I would my kids. We are not doing the in and out, in and out, in and out. So when it's nice out, I'll just be honest with you, I will time block for an hour and those dogs might stay in the backyard for an hour so that they don't go in and out and distract me. Okay, so if that doesn't work for me, I will go sit on my back porch and have the dogs stay outside with me for an hour. I put my umbrella up so that I don't have sun in my computer and I work. But now I just fixed the problem of we're trying to go in and out.
Right.
So I usually tell the dogs, you know what? This is how it's going to be. Now, I don't, if it's raining, don't leave your dogs out. If it's cold, don't leave your dogs out. And if it's 100 and some degrees, don't leave your dogs out. If you can't sit on the back porch.
So you are saying to use some common sense.
Don't leave your dogs out. But my point is, that's how I've dealt with my dogs at times. And my cat, same thing. I either lock her in the garage. I know, sounds mean. No, she has a nice bed or scratching post, food, water. She will be fine. Or I put her outside because my cat happens to be an indoor-outdoor one. But sometimes those guys become very needy. So to figure out what you can do with those distractions, I used to do that to my children. I know you guys think I'm a bad mom. No, but my kids, you're not going in and out, in and out. Mom's working on a project. You can stay out and throw a ball around and play in the backyard for an hour. I got the timer on. You can come in an hour. It's like recess. I told my dogs it's recess. You know, the dogs so know what I'm saying.
You say recess, the dogs know what you're talking about.
I'm like, you guys obviously need recess because we're not doing the.
So we've talked about, like, we've got the timer, the kitchen timer. By doing the laundry. Okay, I've got the washing machine is going to ding, tell me it's done. We've got our clocks. Are there other ways that we can organize our time block?
Well, I hate that we have 24 hours in the day. I hate that.
Why?
Isn't that overwhelming? Because I have too much stuff to do. You have too much stuff to do.
Oh.
So if we don't get our priorities in there first, like sleeping, eating, right? Literally, you need those on your schedule. Now, I'll be honest, there's some days I eat lunch right here, and there's some days I eat dinner right here. But I still pray before I eat, and I still got to go prep my food. But my husband's a UPS driver. He's gone a lot. So I work a lot. And that's fine because I run my own business. And when I say I work a lot, I try to work a lot of hours so that later I can spend time with my family when they're around.
So you have focus time.
Or my dogs, right? Or whoever, whatever I want to do, or go for a walk. So I think that we need to run our schedules, or our schedules will run us.
Ooh, I like that.
Write that down. I'm not kidding. You either run your schedules, because we only have 24 hours in a day. Can you believe it? And so I have a question for everybody. Are you doing what's important to you? Because life is short and we only have so many days, so many hours. And so if you know your why of why you're doing, like, your business, why you're doing your family, why you're taking care of your health, maybe to live longer, those would be your priorities. Do you remember how we put the marbles? You know, you could take a coffee cup, put marbles in first, and then you can put your pebbles in, in your sand, and then you can still fit water. But if we don't get those marbles in first, I'm talking those things that are key, important to you in your life to create the life that you want and you deserve.
Now, how did you phrase that? Manage your schedule? How did you say that?
We're either going to manage our time or our time's going to manage us. We're either going to control our time or it controls us. Because you either can be proactive or reactive. And I don't know about you, but being reactive, that is stressful. And I don't want to be there. Time is so precious. Do you know that? We can't even store it up. You know, we can store up money. I know people think that we can't, but we can make more. You cannot make more time. We only have so much time. So if you're not careful with our time, we'll constantly be putting those fires out, like I talked about, which is so stressful. Is that how you want to live your life? Pretty sure you're going to
start
start
living in the stress mode, and I'm tired of living in the reaction mode.
So then we can eliminate those unimportant things. You know, people spend so much time watching TV. They spend so much time on social media. They spend so much time. Are those your priorities? If they are, go for it. But I mean, really, what are your priorities? And so to realize that life is short. And I want to end on this one thing that I love to tell people. What if you had 6 months to live? Is this how you'd live your life? Is this how you'd prioritize your time? I'm not trying to be mean, but it's true. I've lost a couple people this year. That's, you know, so if we live like we're dying, like Tim McGrath, you know his song, then we could realize how precious that time is. So why wait till we're going to die? Why wait till we have the 6 months, right? So to get our job, I know we want to be successful in our business, but what is success to you? Is success only about your business, or is it about your life, your family, your dogs, your friends? I mean, me, I will tell you, friends are so important to me. And so spending time with my friends is on my list, right? My kids, my family, so important to me. My faith life is so important to me. So those things will be on my schedule. But then I say that, I love my clients. They're so important to me. So they're on my schedule. And so if you figure out what your priorities are, what's important to you, what are some of your big priorities, Terry Ann, that have to be on your schedule?
I'm finding that I have to make sure that self-care is on the schedule. It is very easy to sit down at the computer and be there for hours at a time. I have to make it a point to get up and to walk around. I've counted how many steps. I have a small house, but I know how many steps go around this one little path that I have inside my house and how many times I need to go around it just to stretch. Because it's very easy to just sit here and say, oh, no, I have to do this. And no, I also have to do self-care.
That is important. Do you know what I will forget to do? I will forget to eat.
Yes.
That sounds silly, but I am so busy because I'm a I'm a servant leader. I work from my heart. I love people. I love my family, love my friends. I love my clients. Would you tell me, do you ever not meet a friend, Sherry? That's not really true. But I also have a Toastmaster family and I love them. So I have all these people that I love. So I will be so busy taking care of them that I forget to eat. I'm not kidding you. So if it's not on my schedule, it doesn't happen. If walking's not on the schedule, it doesn't happen.
Right.
Sleeping, I don't usually skip it because if I do, you don't like me. Drinking my coffee, no. My point is, right? So there are some stuff, but anyway.
Yeah,
and then I was talking about.
Yeah, I do make self-care a priority. And that is, I think, very important, especially for people who work from home.
Yes.
If you're working in an office, you've got that person who comes by with his coffee cup and always has to stop and lean in the door and tell you all the latest gossip. You don't have that in your home. You don't have those distractions. And sometimes you don't have the personal excuse to, I really need to get up and walk around, or I need to get up and walk away from here. My husband has had to teach me over the years, you need to walk away and so that your mind will clear. And then when you go back, all of a sudden it's, oh, hey, that was a breeze. But I have to stay here and work. No, you need to get away and take the break. We are at the top of the hour. We are so excited to have been here. Come back next week. Next week, we're going to talk about perspective. What is perspective?
Maybe you should have the right perspective.
A what?
The right perspective.
Oh, the right perspective. What is the right perspective? Come back next week and let's talk about it.
Well, and if you have anything you want to talk about regarding perspective, go ahead and let us know for next week too. And yeah, look forward to seeing everybody next week. Have a great day.
Bye.